Yeah. Doe one. Rocky Mountain Sports Report, yeah, live and direct. Keep them shook, defend like Champ Bailey and Adam Foote, no joking. I'll block it out like Jokic, and now you see him blurry. Lost in the rain of threes from Jamal Murray. Oh, step up to the plate. Colorado landscape outstanding, reporting all the facts in. We out the park like black men, or better yet, Chuck Nasty.
Hey, good morning, everybody. This is David with the Rocky Mountain Sports Report, and welcome to the 4th and 99 Denver Broncos pregame. Today we are joined by Carson from the 4th and 29 podcast. He is your Baltimore Ravens expert. First of all, we're going to go ahead and talk about our sponsors. We got Stoke the Fire Barbecue Superstore up in Loveland, Colorado. Check them out. They will hook you up for all of your barbecue needs. We also have Avacor Mobile Power Wash LLC. Get with them for all of your power washing needs. And then we have Chavez Customs LLC. They are pretty much a custom printer. They'll put your logo on anything you want it on, shirts, hats, bumper stickers, whatever you want it on. And then we got Willow Seasonings and Blends, which is a Colorado-owned seasoning company. So check them out at willowseasonings.com and get yourself some good rubs for your Sunday football. Morning, Matt.
Morning. How's everyone doing today?
Doing good. Scott, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. It's I'm looking forward to another Sunday of sitting at the bar and watching a ton of football.
Yeah, Keith.
Yeah. Doing fantastic, man. You're doing fantastic. It's always good watching a football Sunday, that's for sure. So
yeah, definitely. So, and Carson, welcome to the show. You're probably feeling the same way I'm feeling this morning because LSU let us down last night.
I don't even want to talk about
it. Hey, I will take a 3-point loss by my Cardinals to Wake Forest. That was a close game.
So
there you go.
You could be CU Buffs fans and not having a quarterback.
I could be.
Well, that's the coach's fault because he won't change out the quarterback.
Yeah, it's
he at least put somebody else in there, see what they can do. Lewis has proved he can't do anything.
We need Gilbert to call and see if Steven Montez has any years of eligibility left.
Yeah, I don't know if he has any left. So, all right, Matt, take her away.
All right, guys. So it's Broncos, Ravens. Everyone's saying Broncos 3-0 is nothing. This is the first real test. Our opponents are 0-9. Definitely feeling the heat today. Unfortunately, as much as this matchup we want it to be killer, it's going to be a battle of the battered, if to say the least. So both teams are coming in with pretty hefty injury reports. I got the Ravens injury report right here in front of me. It looks like they're going to be without Ronnie Staley. Carson and I were talking about this last night. Sounds like he may be out for the remainder of the year, possibly.
There's actually a rumor going around. He might be forced to medically retire because his ankle is not healing at all. So they don't really know yet.
Wow. That's
yikes.
That's huge.
Yeah. It's been an ongoing thing for a couple of years with his ankle, but last year the major injury,
Yeah.
But on top of that, they also got Derek Wolfe, former Denver Bronco. I mean, we all heard he really wanted to be in this game. It would have been his first matchup with Denver since leaving Denver, I believe. But unfortunately, it sounds like his hip and back are just going to prevent him from being in the game. We go down this. Calais Campbell was listed on the injury report. It just is not injury related. I know he's going to play, but do you know what it was for, Carson?
We usually just give our vets rest days late in the week.
Okay, because I know Justin Houston was under the same designation, but I know he was kind of coming off the COVID protocol, so then just kind of probably easing him back in as a veteran, right?
Yep.
All right. What I really want to dive into, though, is this you're almost your entire secondary is listed on this injury report.
Deshaun Elliott, he's listed as questionable. No way he plays today. He hasn't practiced at all this week. And then his backup, Geno Stone, same thing with him, questionable. He didn't practice this week. No way, in my opinion, he plays. Could, yes, but Anthony Averett, he's questionable too. sounding like he may give it a go today, but he's nowhere near 100%, which is terrible for us, but obviously great for you guys.
Yeah, what about Clark? He's listed as questionable on the last injury report I seen as well.
I think Chuck has to play. At this rate, he needs to play today.
Yeah, because I mean, if it gets worse from there, because both Marlon Humphrey and Tavon Austin are both listed on this report, is questionable as well. So
Yeah,
it just seems
Marlon.
like they're gonna play, but they're beat up, is what I'm getting.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, if there's gonna be a game that is the best for your secondary beat up, it may very well be Denver, as our entire wide receiver room is pretty banged up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Good matchup there.
So
hopefully.
So both all this injury report is gonna line up for some pretty awesome battles of Denver starters, edges versus your backup tackles, as well as a pretty beat up secondary against a pretty beat up wide receiver room. So Dave, where are you feeling is going to be the best matchup, or who you got your eye on today in terms of matchup?
I'm whoever they put on Tim Patrick. I feel sorry for him. I think Tim Patrick and Teddy Bridgewater are building a chemistry together. And I wouldn't say our room's beat up. Yeah, we're missing some guys, but the guys that are playing are healthy. It's not like they're coming out there and they're, limping around like the Baltimore secondary is going to be.
That is true.
So, and does Baltimore have the depth, to be rotating players in and really deal with this altitude?
Yeah, that's a good point. Altitude. What about you, Keith? What matchup do you got your eyes on? Is there a receiver combo, tackle combo?
For me, it still goes out to what we can produce on offense. So, I don't know exactly who you guys have as your number one lining up against Cortland Sutton, but that's where I'm putting my money. I know that Tim Patrick has started coming around. I've been banging on the Fant's going to make a big difference, and he is, getting some receptions out there, 12 receptions for like 110 yards. But Sutton's where the connection has been, and that matchup is going to be key for us. We're going to have a feeling we're going to still have to put up some points today, guys. So it's not. I don't think it's going to be a grind me out low scoring battle. So. That Sutton matchup, I think, is going to be huge.
Yeah. Looks like we have a pretty good comment coming in here. Let's see. All right. Real quick, Facebook user, please, if you click the link above, give StreamYard permission so we know who you are. If you don't feel comfortable giving StreamYard permission to use your account or your name, just type your name at the end of the comment so we can at least give you the credit you deserve.
Yeah, so this is Francisco Lucero is who sent this comment.
Nice. All right, so he does feel that the injuries are more in terms of Baltimore. They're number one and number two running backs. Two receivers Denver's wide receiver one. And Patrick stepped up, not to mention as the fastest tight end in the league. Denver's defense is 90% attacks, like I said. I agree. I mean, I think we all agree with that. Baltimore's injuries are more significant, leading to we'll just kind of continue down this train of key matchups you're kind of keeping an eye on with these kind of different areas that are beat up. So Scott, who are you wanting to watch today?
What I'm wanting to watch. I mean, people have said it. Jerry Jeudy's out, KJ Hamler's out, so you have Tim Patrick, Kendall Hinton stepping into those roles, kind of playing receiver there. And getting some pressure off of Cortland Sutton. But the matchup I'm really interested in is on our defensive side of the ball. Who's going to be watching Lamar Jackson this entire game? Lamar Jackson is a pivotal point in Baltimore's offense, whether he's throwing or running the ball. And if you can contain Lamar Jackson, I think it gives the Broncos a better chance on offense to kind of open up that spread more than the 1.5 that they're favored. I think it was close to even was the mark heading into today. But for me, I'm watching the linebackers and how they're playing Lamar Jackson in this game.
All right.
Good call.
Carson, what matchup has you the most concerned heading in today's game?
Most concerned, Denver's pass rush against our O-line. Von Miller against Patrick McCarry, obviously. That's terrible for us. Third string right tackle against one of the best pass rushers ever.
Carson, Villanueva's not playing either, is he?
Villanueva is playing, sadly. I wish he wasn't, but
David almost lost his coffee.
Yeah, my coffee almost went all over my screen.
That's another matchup. Malik Reed, your guys' pass rusher against Villanueva.
So are
Lamar's
they
blind side? That's going to be bad.
Are they moving Villanueva over to left?
Yep,
today?
He's been playing left tackle the past 2 weeks, and it seems like that's what we're going to do while Stanley's out.
Okay.
Jeez. So Villanueva's been struggling since he's left Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
He
And,
struggled this last year at Pittsburgh too. So
Yeah, and that's one area we're actually pretty deep in. Even with the loss of Bradley Chubb, we got a lot of young guys. Jonathan Cooper as well, 7th round pick. He's been lighting it up. He's been getting pressure. So Villanueva's going to have his hands full with some young guys coming at him, and they're going to have to do their best to try to keep him fresh. Altitude's going to play, a big factor. That was my biggest matchup as well, as edge rush versus their beat up tackle room. Jonathan Cooper, I think, is going to be in for the big day. Everyone's looking for Malik Reed to have that big game, but I think Jonathan Cooper is going to steal the show today.
Very good.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, the name on this injury report, we've been zoned in on all week has been Lamar Jackson. Do you have any concerns that he is not 100% healthy?
Nah, he was 100% going practice yesterday. He'll be fine.
Well, dang.
I don't
Right.
think there's any level of soreness because if I'm the quarterback and I'm in that position right now, AFC North is getting better and better. I mean, Pittsburgh looks like the wheels are slowly falling off because Big Ben
Slowly falling off.
rough.
Pittsburgh's wheels have been falling off since week 12
But okay,
of
I was
last
trying
year.
to be nice
Right.
to the Pittsburgh fans, Scott. I was just trying to
I'm
give
not.
them a
I'm
little
sorry.
bit of hope. Okay, a glimpse of hope because it looks like they're going to be having to completely reinvest in that quarterback room. I mean, they got a good team, but the quarterback play is just not where it's at.
Mike
where it
Tomlin's
needs to
just
be.
so stubborn to not start Dwayne Haskins. Sorry, I said it.
No, I mean,
Yep.
I
You're right, though.
They
But,
feel like
I
they
mean-
owe Ben.
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
it
The
is.
championship, that window's already sailed.
Oh, it has. Yeah.
No.
It's time for Ben to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, leading back.
And
into other
I'm
teams-
sorry, but Haskins did look really good in preseason, so I got to completely agree with this guy, man. He's ready to go, man. He should be out there. Anyway.
Yeah. So leading to the AFC North, Cleveland Browns. They're gonna they have. It seems like they're gonna probably go up another game today. Cincinnati's already won. Do you think Lamar Jackson could have been feeling the heat more of being 100%?
Yeah. I mean, Lamar's definitely feeling the pressure. He said it in interviews. Just because he finally got the win over the Chiefs a couple weeks ago, it doesn't mean nothing to him. He's still yet to beat Ben Roethlisberger in head-to-head matchup, which is huge. We beat the Bengals both games last year, but now Burrow's fully healthy and he's
got a Jamar Chase to throw to now, so things get worse there for you.
And then the Browns, people like Juju says the Browns are the Browns. They're not a joke. Their defense this year is stepping up, especially Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
And when we play them, Myles might break the damn sack record in the game.
He tried to last week in Chicago.
Yeah, he was having a day.
I mean, here's my thing. I've watched Lamar when he was at Louisville as a Cardinal, and I loved what I saw there. And I was happy when the Ravens took him with that 32nd pick in the first round. And he's a legit franchise type quarterback. But I think the thing for Lamar is with Jim Harbaugh, especially, is you guys are starting to feel the heat on trying to win a championship with Lamar as your quarterback on this, on this contract that he's on. And then you look around the league and you have players like Josh Allen who can do what Lamar does. Doesn't run as much because he doesn't need to, but look at what Kyler Murray's doing in Arizona. Same makeup as what Lamar Jackson has, and they are starting to put a team together down there to compete. That's the NFC side of it, but still, people are starting to figure out what Lamar does and how he does it. So, and it doesn't help that he lost, 2 great running backs, his top 2 running backs and everything. And, the defensive injuries have just killed him. So there's a lot of weight on Lamar Jackson and this team for him to carry this team as a captain. So I think the mental stress is going to get to him before the soreness that you spoke of, Matt. I mean, he got beat up when he was in Louisville, running the ball. So he's a tough kid.
Well,
I'll say that.
The life expectancy of quarterbacks that play like Lamar,
rushing quarterbacks is very small.
Yeah. I mean, look at Michael Vick,
Cam Newton.
Yeah, Cam Newton, people like that. They hit a lot harder in the NFL than they do in college. If I'm Denver today, you hit Lamar Jackson every chance you get. And I'm not talking about cheap shots, Just make him feel that he's in an NFL game. And, I've had back surgeries. I know there's something wrong with his back, So it's not like he has some miracle recovery, So I'm sure he's still sore. So I think that Denver, just needs to punish him, and
gotta be careful with trying to punish him, though.
Make him pass.
Yeah. Got a couple of questions coming in real quick that we can address. So any news on Melvin Gordon? Melvin Gordon is going to play today. He is banged up. So with that being said, we'll probably see
Javonte Williams show, baby.
Of Javonte Williams. And then I'm pretty sure I know who this is. I'm almost positive I know who this is.
We know that must be Victor.
That's Victor. Yeah, that is a Victor comment. He hates Josie Jewell, Carson.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about Josie Jewell because he's not playing.
He's sitting at home.
Yeah.
Well, just a little bit of Josie Jewell tidbit for Victor. He was playing at an elite level. He was actually the second highest rated inside linebacker of the season prior to his injury. So hopefully he can come back and play at that level for us next year when he's healthy. Well,
I got a question for everybody really quick while we're on the running back issue. Is Javonte Williams in the doghouse? I mean, he put the ball in. Why? He fumbled inside the 5-yard line, didn't he?
Okay, Melvin Gordon did the same thing last season.
Well, I understand that. Melvin Gordon has a fumble this year. I'm talking about this year, Scott. I mean, is he
I think he was that game. I went back and I remember looking at everything. We ended up putting in Crockett at the end. He didn't end up touching the ball again or getting on the field again, I believe, Javonte Williams after that fumble.
So I'm wondering how that carries over. I'm wondering how that carries over to today.
I don't think it does. I mean, hopefully it does.
I don't think
From
it
a
does.
Coaching perspective, hopefully that was the message, right? You're
we bench you for the rest of the game. We're up 26-0.
Yep.
You're out of the game.
You're out of the game. We're not going to have a little talking to, go through this week's practice and it's a focus, you know what I mean? And you come back out this Sunday. If they punish him this week, that's just terrible coaching. That's
especially if Melvin Gordon's hurt, Keith. Like if Melvin Gordon's playing a little banged up and he does get injured, and you're like, oh well, I don't want to play Javonte Williams because he had a fumble last week.
Yeah, run Crockett.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Not.
I mean, he was bound to have his first fumble sometimes at some point. At least it happened during the time where it was essentially.
Well, yeah. At least it happened against
the
Jets.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And the one thing you can say for a rookie running back that's literally he fumbled at the 1, the guy wants to get a touchdown. You know what I mean? It's excited for a rookie to try to get into the end zone and lose concentration to make sure you secure that ball. You just got to know that.
And I'm not advocating for Javonte Williams to sit on the bench. Trust me, I was just asking a general question. That was a great defensive play, actually. I mean, the guy came in and put his helmet right on the ball.
That was the highlight of the Jets' day right there.
Yeah, that probably was the biggest play of the day for him. So
it kept it a 26-0 score. So
hey, we'll take it. Another pretty big comment coming in. I'll let you guys read that. Lamar going up against the best second in NFL that didn't really boast if you can't run the ball because Baltimore's running backs out and falls a lot on Lamar. And running himself, and if you're,
I will say this. I've read the multiple questions on here. Their top 2 running backs are out. Latavius Murray is active. Le'Veon Bell was activated. And Tyson Williams is still there as a rookie. I mean, they have running backs in place.
Yes.
It's about the scheme that they're running that's going to help them help them or not. Even though Lamar can run it, they still have viable running backs that can run the ball. Le'Veon Bell hasn't played in a while, but Latavius Murray is still a quality running back. And Tyson Williams is a rookie that the Ravens are pretty high on. Am I correct, Carson? They were high on, but he hasn't really performed well in the regular season.
Yeah, it seems like he's in the doghouse right now ever since he fumbled on the 1 yard line against the Chiefs. I mean,
hence the reason why Le'Veon Bell is now activated with the Ravens.
yeah.
There you go.
So they did ask Greg Roman, our offensive coordinator, the other day, which running back's going to be inactive, and it did sound like Tyson's going to be inactive. It's
Ooh.
between him and Devontae Freeman. So,
Wow.
Tough choice.
You know, the thing that, and I mean, the one thing that I'm most concerned about, and I don't know, just taking this off in a different conversation, is this is the first time we've really had a game plan against an RPO this year. You know what I mean? And it's kind of speaking to what Scott was talking about and, you know, what our linebackers are doing. I mean, I don't know if there's many better than Baltimore and what Lamar Jackson does with the RPO. He can drop dimes. If he holds it, he can run like nobody's business. You know what I mean? And I know that he was banged up, and believe me, like I said, when it sounds like he was 100% ready to go, according to our buddy Carson, that's concerning because, you know, even a 90% Lamar is a scary first down on the field. And Jim Harbaugh has said from the very beginning, that's where this offense runs through. All goes through Lamar Jackson. He put 100% of Lamar Jackson. So, and it shows through some of the other statistics that you guys have had. I know that you guys have a banged up running back room, but statistics have played out that this is Lamar Jackson's team almost 100%.
oh, yeah, for sure. Without Lamar, honestly, this year, we'd win maybe 4 games if we didn't have Lamar.
Yeah. It's it'll be the toughest part of the matchup, and the most interesting part is just what the heck we can do with Lamar, because Lamar can be dangerous. So as simple as that.
He's an expert at the RPO system. He's been running an RPO system since his freshman year at Louisville. Yep. So I'm like, he came up to the NFL. Jim Harbaugh's like, I love what you did at Louisville. Let's do it here.
Yeah,
and it's worked out well.
I watched him last week where he made a complete mistake. Shouldn't have pulled it. Shouldn't have pulled it for a pass. What does he do? He knows exactly what to do. He just takes off running right where the running back went and blocks up field and gets 9 yards. You know what I mean? So it's scary just to have someone like that, like you said, that's an expert in the RPO system. We've struggled with KC in years past, guys, and that's exactly what they do. You know, they ran RPO on us and burned us multiple times. So that's my biggest concern. I don't know.
Right.
Just to go off a little bit.
Our inside linebacker group is going to play a huge role in this game. If these guys don't stay home and commit to their assignments, it could be a long day with Lamar just taking off and running up the middle.
Well, and I sincerely hope they addressed it during the week.
I hope so too.
Yeah,
but how do you mimic Lamar Jackson in practice? Is pretty dang hard.
Yeah,
Kendall Hinton.
Well,
yeah, but unfortunately, he's supposedly had a bigger role in the offense this week, so he did not get to
he didn't run the scout team.
Role.
So,
but
I don't know. Get a dog with a ton of energy and just throw it back there.
But looking at Baltimore's first couple games that they've played, Denver does stack up to be the toughest defense they've played thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Like our one of our buddies mentioned in the comments here, number 1 secondary. We're in the top 5 in almost every category of defense right now. So, as much as we're like, oh, this is going to be a test for us, I think this is going to be Lamar's first real test against quality defense this season. And unfortunately, he's got so many things going wrong for him. It's going to be an uphill battle for him, I think, right now. I mean, wide receiver room has been inconsistent for Baltimore. Hollywood Brown with the big drops last week. A couple injuries in their room, right? You guys are, because I forgot who's the other wide receiver. You guys are missing a wide receiver, right? Miles Boykin?
Boykin's out. Bateman, we didn't activate him this week. So
you guys are missing 2 receivers, yeah.
So you're saying all we have to do is cover Andrews this week?
Yeah.
And let
that's about it.
I would not Hollywood Brown out of my sight either, but I'm just.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Now here we sit with like 4 Broncos guys, 1 Raven guy,
Hey, he's outnumbered today. It's all right.
A little outnumbered, but the funny thing is we came on to the pod, and what's the first thing we talked about? This is about an even line.
Yeah.
Right? And the way that we're talking, we're like, man, they're beat up, they're banged up. You know what I mean? We should win this game. Carson, why don't we win this? Why don't the Broncos win? Why do the Ravens win today?
Why would the Ravens win?
Yeah, why do the Ravens win? We're talking about a post game. The Ravens won. Why? How did they do it?
Justin Tucker by himself.
Yeah.
70-yarder today.
Real quick before you
Hey, man, I got 5 points off of that 66-yard field goal kick last week. I will take it.
Hey, Harbaugh said he's willing to let him kick from 70 today. So
You're in the money. Might as well.
yeah.
So are you predicting like a 21-17 win then in that situation with 7 field goals?
Anything's possible. If we win, I do think it will be like a last-second field goal.
Yeah, it seems to be the trend for Baltimore. Pretty much every game this season has come down to the last drive, essentially. Yeah, one victory against Kansas City.
Overtime loss against the Raiders in the first week.
And then the last-second field goal against Detroit.
The Detroit game shouldn't have been close.
It really
shouldn't have been.
I mean, those drops killed you guys, unfortunately.
So Carson brings it up. The Baltimore-Detroit game last week shouldn't have been close. Baltimore should have won that without any real issues. Now, Baltimore comes into Denver. The altitude's a factor. Justin Tucker is the only one that's getting any advantage with the altitude here, as far as Baltimore goes. But my question is, if Baltimore struggled so bad last week with Detroit's defense, what's it going to look like for them this week against Denver's defense, which is, as you've said, Matt, a top-ranked defense?
Last week we passed the ball a lot. I think this week we're just going to stick to the run. Test your inside linebackers, play smash mouth football, and we just got to see. And then, I know your guys' O-line's a little banged up, so I think it'll be the battle of two defenses.
Yeah, I mean, Le'Veon Bell is a bigger back, and that's probably why they activated him in a game against the Broncos. If they're going to run the ball a lot and do that power run, so I like the way you're looking at it, Carson. I like that.
And Carson brings up a good point. Denver's defensive line is banged up. Shelby Harris is, hurting. Draymond Jones is hurting. So, I mean, maybe Baltimore can take some advantage and keep the heat off Lamar by not making him drop back and letting Von Miller and Malik Reed have their way with those offensive tackles.
Yeah,
could be a dangerous game, that run game, setting up that play action RPO style.
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood will just drop it on the 1 yard line.
I mean, another interesting matchup we didn't really talk about. We talked about Calais Campbell coming back. He's going to be lining up over Netani Moody. This is going to be Netani Moody's either maker. I mean, he's played well when he's had to come in. I'm super high on Moody. I mean, Calais Campbell though is an All-Pro, an aging All-Pro, albeit, but this is going to be Moody's first real step into being a professional offensive lineman. This is going to be a hard matchup for him. I'm interested to see, are they going to put Campbell on him, or are they going to try to attack Reisner knowing he's not 100% healthy with Campbell?
Yeah.
I think we go right after Moody.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I have a lot of faith in Moody. The dude is a very strong offensive guard. You don't see him get bullied back. And he's got that Pacific Islander bloodline in him. He's got that that mean face on him, that just natural grittiness. So I'm hoping for our sake he has a good game if that's where they put him. But definitely going to be interesting to see how that impacts our running game, because we know we like to run straight up those gaps behind those guards. So with Reisner being hurt and Moody being more of a pass blocking guard, it'll be interesting to see how the run game for us is affected. But I agree with where Carson's going. This is going to be a smash mouth, hit you in the face, grind you out type of game. I mean, that's how Denver wants to win games. So this is going to be Denver's chance to prove that this game plan is effective for them. There's going to be a team that wants to do the exact same thing, and it's going to come down to whose team's going to have their playmakers off the field more often.
Yeah, and I think that is key, Matt. I think Denver needs to keep Lamar on the sideline as much as possible. So I'm hoping that we see a run-heavy Broncos game plan today that can keep Lamar Jackson on the sideline. He can't beat you from over there.
Yeah. Well, we've been winning time of possession, and it sounds like if that's what according to Carson, that's what Baltimore is going to go after. That might be exactly the stat that we look at the end of the day. Is who actually held that time of possession. We've been doing fantastic in that regard and flipping fields and getting just manhandling that time of possession. So if Baltimore can start to eke that back, that's going to change the way we see what we've seen for the first few weeks, because it's been just completely the opposite. So
all I can really see right now, talking about time of possession and everything else, is like a Street Fighter versus matchup. Brandon McManus versus Justin Tucker. Ready? Let's go. That's all I can see with time of possession. Just set them up at the 40 on each side and just let them kick all day.
Right.
That's what we're going to do.
Whoever makes the most field goals wins the game.
It'll be like a good old soccer shootout.
Hey, there you go.
So I got a question for Carson along the lines of Justin Houston. I mean, coming off COVID, playing at altitude, how much of an impact does he have today?
None. I don't think he has any.
Sucking down the oxygen. That's all he's going to be doing.
Do you feel that that's because he's coming off of COVID in Denver, or do you just generally feel that Justin Houston's a shell of what he used to be?
I think it's from coming off of COVID and being in Denver, where the air quality, that's another underrated factor for our guys, especially Lamar.
Yeah.
Lamar runs the ball a lot, like you guys said. And as a Ravens fan, he gets gassed easily. So is it going to be bad in Denver to where he needs to sit a couple plays? And especially if his back's not 100%.
Yeah.
And then, he's huffing and puffing, slow, goes to make one move, isn't quick enough and gets hit in his back. The air quality in Denver is going to be huge for our guys, especially the rookies.
It's a hard place to play because of the altitude. I mean, even some of our own players struggle. I mean, sometimes we're having to see Von Miller sitting on the sideline gasping up oxygen.
Yeah.
And he trains here year round. It's a tough place to definitely play because of the difference in altitude.
Yeah.
When we first started Rocky Mountain Sports Report, I don't remember if you guys remember the article Carl wrote for us about the altitude difference, and it was significant and different vital signs and things like that of the impact it actually had. I'll have to see if I can go through our old.
It's insane. It impacts every single sport: basketball, hockey, baseball, soccer. Everything here in the Mile High City is affected sports-wise for visiting teams and the teams that play on the ice. I mean, not to take it off other topics, but hockey, your typical shift is 30 to 40 seconds. Jared Bednar says he wants to keep that between 25 to 30 seconds for his players simply because of the altitude.
Yeah, we have an Olympic training facility up here in Montana that's at a mile high, winter Olympic training facility for skating and stuff like that, just a speed skating rink. You know what I mean? Because completely different. If you could gain that advantage and you can practice at altitude and then go down to sea level, you do get that advantage. So,
yeah,
absolutely. So I'm going to pose a question to the group, and this isn't so much of the star of the game or who you think's going to have the breakout of the game, but who's the one player on our respective teams that we cannot afford to make major mistakes today? I'll let Carson start. Who's the one player you need to aside from Lamar Jackson, of course? Who's the one player you need today to show
besides the quarterbacks?
Yeah, and not make those mistakes.
Marlon Humphrey. I mean, week after week, it seems like he's given up one or two deep balls a game now, and we can't let that happen. I mean, no offense to Demarcus Robinson on the Chiefs, but he just burned Marlon all night long like it was nothing. And, I'm concerned about that because, we move Marlon around from receiver 1, receiver 2 to tight ends, and you guys have the talent that could just burn us deep. So Marlon needs to be on his A game today for sure.
All right. What about you, Keith?
I'll go with probably Malik Reed. he typically plays that side of the defense where Lamar Jackson likes to escape. So we need to be able to set that edge properly. If you need to, turn him up inside so we can get him into the inside linebackers and not let him get to the outside where he's picking up 8-9 yards a carry, scrambling out of bounds, and just keeping drives alive. So Malik Reed for me.
Okay. What about you, Scott?
Yeah, his name escapes me right now, but our middle linebacker, the guy calling the shots on the defensive side of the ball, he has to be disciplined, and he has to make sure everybody around him stays disciplined to cover their whoever they're on, whether they're playing the zone or the man. He's got to make sure everybody's in the right spot at the right time, especially with the RPO option that the Ravens run. You got to be on top of it. Mark Andrews is a solid and great target for Lamar Jackson. So if you suck in our linebackers and anybody playing up and you get Mark Andrews over the top, that's just going to be really difficult for us. So I'm putting person who can't screw up today, middle linebacker.
It looks like our buddy Ricky Newell is siding with you with Alexander Johnson. That's our green dot on the defense.
Yep.
What about you, Dave?
I'm going to go with a group, and that's their interior offensive line. We need to be able to establish the run, and these guys, and they also, they can't allow pressure from the middle on Teddy Bridgewater. So those guys really need to step up, specifically the guards. I mean, Cushionberry's, grown since last year. He's playing pretty dang good, but we need to see Reisner, who's hurting, and also Mute. Those guys need to step up, and keep the pressure off Teddy today.
Yeah.
All right, I'm actually going in the same direction as you, Dave. I wasn't going to highlight the whole group, but I do have two. So Lloyd Cushionberry, he's been playing great this year, but he's going against a great defensive coordinator who likes to sing creative blitzes at times. So he's got to keep his head on a swivel and make sure that he's helping Teddy recognize where those protections need to be set, which he's done a great job of so far, this far. And then the other one is Mike Purcell. I've been kind of beating up Mike Purcell this year, but with the mobile quarterback, we need him to be that stopgap that he is. I mean, we're not looking at him to, make that interior presence felt, but he's got to be able to hog that hole so Lamar doesn't just do what Danny Dimes did to us and just take up straight up the middle. Once our linebacker split and he's getting knocked around, it's a free 15-yard gain for Danny Dimes, 15 yards for a guy like Lamar Jackson. That's going to turn into 30-plus yards, a gash. So I definitely need him to step up and just be that stopgap that he needs to be, that plug for our defense.
I will say this, David, you mentioned it earlier, you need to make Teddy, or you need to make Lamar feel it if he's going to, whether, when you hit him or whatever. The one thing that plays against Lamar, especially against a team like the Broncos, is he's willing to step into a hit, for that extra yard. The Broncos need to take advantage of that, make sure they get clean, solid hits on him whenever he does take off with the ball and leans into a hit.
Yep, I agree 100%.
Absolutely. So I guess we can slide into who we think is going to be the star of the game. Then we'll kind of touch on some other NFL stuff, and then I'm sure we'll have some more questions pop in through us. So who's your star? Who's going to be the star of the game if you walk out of this victorious today, Carson?
I mean, it has to be Lamar, right?
Well, I mean, it felt like a dumb question, but I knew that's where it was going.
I'll give you.
It's Justin names. Tucker. Come on.
3 names. I'll give you Lamar on offense. On defense, I'm going to go Justin Madubuike. He needs to step up on the interior D-line. And then special teams. Instead of Justin Tucker, I'm going to go Sam Cook. His punts have been bad this year. If we're going to beat you guys, we need to pin you guys deep.
I'd take that.
All right. But how about we keep the same format? I mean, I know we might double up on some of our special teams and defense players, but let's keep that same format. Like, let's go through all 3 phases of the game. Let's go with you first, Dave. Who's your 3 stars of, side of football?
Special teams, I mean, it's going to be Brandon McManus. I think he gets us at least 3 field goals today. Offense, and I said it earlier in the week when I made a prediction. I think it's Melvin Gordon today. I think Denver's really going to focus on pounding the ball today, and I think Melvin Gordon's going to get 2 touchdowns today. And then on defense, it's going to be Vaughn. Whoever they put on Vaughn's going to eat him up. Vaughn is playing like we haven't seen Vaughn play in 5 years, and I could see another multi-sack day from Von Miller, 2 or 3 sacks today.
Von Miller's playing like it's 2015, guys.
Yes, he is. He's gonna give Lamar PTSD like he did Cam.
That's the last time we played a mobile quarterback. I mean, unfortunately, that is the last time.
That's the last time Cam Newton was any good.
Right.
That is the last time they ever played a traditional,
yeah.
But all right, let's go with you, Scott. Who's your 3 guys?
All right, I have to go with David on this. Special teams. It's got to be Brandon McManus. You have the home field, you have the altitude advantage, and you have one hell of a leg. You have one of the best legs in the NFL. No offense to Justin Tucker, which I absolutely love as well. I should have a closet full of just kicker jerseys at this point. On defense, I'm going with what I called out with Alexander Johnson, who's got to be on the ball today, who's got to be disciplined and lead this team on defense. It's Alexander Johnson with the green dot. A lot of it's going to come down to the relaying of the play calls coming from the sideline and then making the adjustments as necessary to keep Lamar contained and keep Andrews from breaking out over the top. On offense, I'm going running back as well, but I'm not going with Melvin Gordon. I'm saying Javonte Williams has a bounce-back game after that fumble last week and comes out to prove that he was worth the pick that the Broncos spent on him, and he's not going to fumble the ball again against a better defensive group versus what the New York Jets put up.
Sounds good. And what about you, Keith?
What about me? Just kidding. For me, just to be on the opposite side of things, let's face it. Let's go on special teams. Let's talk about coverage. I think if we walk off the field with a win today, I think part of it's going to be in place because of our coverage. Until we constantly and consistently don't give up big returns on kickoffs, I will say coverage. On special teams. I'll go a different direction. I originally was going to say Von Miller, but that's been said. Lamar Jackson's had 3 interceptions so far this year. So I'm going to go with Justin Simmons. I think Justin Simmons has the possibility of picking up 1 or 2 of those. If we can get the heat from the Von Millers and the Malik Reeds, maybe have a chance to have one that goes up that comes down in our favor. And then I am going to agree with Dave as well. I think it's Gordon. It's a Gordon day. He's not only is he should be pounding the ball, but he's also the better receiver so far out of the backfield for us. And I think that's a way that we can continue to keep Baltimore's defense a little bit off balance, is using the running back in the passing game again. So just in general terms of touches, I think he gets more touches and puts up more yards. So that would be my offense.
All right. Nice. So special teams, I'm going to go with Deontay Spencer. We just need him to do what he's been doing and just catch the ball. We can't afford to have costly turnovers and flip field position. So we'll just keep doing what he's doing. Defensively, I'm going to go with Justin Simmons, but I'm going to go for a different reason than you, Keith. As much as we keep highlighting these linebackers of having to be what contains Lamar, I've been hearing whispers Denver's going to come out in a cover 2 shell, meaning with those safeties. I mean, we've been doing cover 2 shell all season. Where when we see them start off too deep and we see a safety come and crash the line, I have a feeling we're going to be utilizing Justin Simmons and Kareem Jackson in those packages to come down, crash the line, wait for Lamar, because they're covering the middle of the field anyway, which is going to be a benefactor because that's where Mark Andrews thrives, is across the middle. So he's going to be there, but he's going to be also actually doubling down as the quarterback spy. So I think we'll hopefully see some success there. And offensively, I'm surprised nobody went this way. But I'm going to go Noah Fant, and this is why. Darren Waller, 10 catches, 105 yards, 1 touchdown. Travis Kelce, 7 catches, 109, 1 touchdown. TJ Hawkinson kind of broke the train here, but, I mean, it is Detroit, so he only had 2 catches, 10 yards last week. Denver's got 3 capable receiving tight ends. I think it's going to be Noah Fant finally getting to see the big breakaway we need him to have. With that beat up secondary, they're going to be using drag routes, slant routes, 5-and-ins, anything to give him the ball and let him use his legs to his advantage. I think we're going to see about a 7-8 catch day for about 100 yards from Noah Fant.
Oh,
I
wow.
hope so.
How many targets you thinking out of those 7 and 8 catches? How many total targets?
I mean, Teddy likes to spread it around, so I'd probably say 10.
Okay.
I have a feeling we're going to be utilizing a lot of the passing game today.
So, Matt, and I want to address one thing that you brought up, Devontae Spencer. I need him to do more than catch the ball. I need Devontae Spencer, a guy who we dedicated a roster spot to. When you had other guys who can return punts and kickoffs, I mean, you need to do something more than just catch the ball. Break a return for 25, 30 yards, and put the offense in a good situation.
Hey,
We've had one
possession and field possession.
I'll settle for 10 to 15 yards on a return. And I don't need 20, 30. I just need you to return the ball and get us out to the 20 at least.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take it. Speaking of wide receivers, real quick, I haven't been able to find anywhere. Do we know is David Moore going to play today?
I haven't been able to see anything either.
I haven't heard anything about it. But there was an interesting tidbit that I wanted to share with you guys in the group yesterday. I just slipped my mind. I was busy. But David Moore comes in as the leading touchdown receiver in our receiving room. He has the most touchdowns out of all of our wide receivers with 13.
Yeah.
And he's came out the same year as Cortland did, but he's been proven to be effective in situations. He's got some speed on him. Seattle. Yep. I mean, all of his touchdowns came in Seattle.
Yeah, he played with a better quarterback.
Imagine that, a guy we're sending off the practice squad who's 26 years old is our leading touchdown whatever wide receiver, and we have two all pros. I consider Tim Patrick to be a soon-to-be all-pro wide receiver if he continues this trend.
Should have been last year, in my opinion, but
yeah, he's been phenomenal. He hasn't had a drop in over like 7 months.
That's what happens when you play on a crappy team. When it comes to the Pro Bowl, nobody wants you.
Yep.
All right. Well, we've been talking Broncos, Ravens. I think it's time for some rapid fire before we head into our predictions for the game today.
Okay.
Just who's going to win the game. You don't got to give out a score. Let's just say who's going to win the game. We'll go through our weekly schedule like we typically do. Let's see where to start. All right. We got Titans, Jets. I feel like this is going to be a sweep. Let's go. We'll start with Dave, and then we'll work our way back. So Dave, Scott, Keith, Carson, and then I'll finish it up.
I'm going to have to say the Titans.
Titans, even without Brown and Julio.
Yeah, Titans. Until the Jets prove something different, obviously.
Titans.
Yeah, it's a sweep. I couldn't even. I was going to try to convince myself to go against the grain. Couldn't do it. All right. Lions, Bears in Chicago.
Ooh. I'm going to go against the grain on this. I'm going to pick the Lions. I just don't trust that Bears offensive line.
I'm following Dave on this one. I'm taking the Lions. I'm even taking the spread on this. I think it's plus 2.5.
I'm the same. I'm Lions too. I have no trust in Nagy. I'm sorry.
Lions.
Yeah, another clean sweep with Lions.
That
line is atrocious.
I bet you there are millions of Bears fans out there actually rooting for the Lions just so Nagy can get fired eventually.
Yeah, and that way they could try to take a top offensive tackle next year. Because
okay, but
starting tackle, that's how you know there's some serious issues.
But just don't let Justin Fields take another 9 sacks today, guys.
No, you can't. You can't let that guy get beat up.
Hit that much, you got to hold him.
Right.
He's going to look like Justin Burrow did last year. And what happened to Burrow? Oh, that's right. He tore his ACL.
Yep.
Yeah.
Reminds me of when the Texans first came in and Carr was their quarterback. Remember? My God, that guy took a beating.
Yep.
All right.
You got to protect your franchise.
That's true. All right. Colts, Dolphins in Miami.
Oh, man.
So it's
Jacoby
Brissett is starting.
I'm just going to have to go Miami because it's in Miami. and I don't trust Carson Wentz either. And maybe Jacoby's, wants to prove something to the Colts that, hey, you had a viable option at quarterback. So I'll take the Dolphins.
I'm actually going to go with the Colts on this one. I think Wentz. I don't think Wentz has ever gone 0-4 to start a season. So when he's been healthy, so I think he rides the train and gets the Colts on the board with a win.
I can't believe I'm saying this because I was thinking Miami was just going to be a dumpster fire this year, but I think there's a chance that Miami can go in and get a win. Obviously, in Miami, but I'm going to go Miami.
Yeah, I'm going Miami too. Jacoby Brissett revenge game. What a sweeter way to cap off the revenge.
Right.
W.
I'm going to go the opposite of a couple of you. I'm going with the Colts as well. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring and boring game, but the Colts, I think, have a better defense.
It's a barn burner.
Yeah. I'm not tuning in. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, nope. I'm not either.
Take the no-dose if you watch that game.
I'm only tuning in because I've got one player to catch a touchdown. I pick a player from every game to score a touchdown and put it into a parlay bet. So that's the only reason. I got to look at it real quick. I think it is Gesicki, though.
All right. We'll see. But this is I know, Gabe, you're going to be tuning into Carson. Browns, Vikings in Minnesota. What do you think about that one, Dave?
I'm going to go Minnesota. Baker's going to make some mistakes that will cost the Browns the game.
I got the Browns eking this one out with a field goal.
I got the Browns just because the defense is just playing devastating, and I don't think that they can – up in Minnesota they can handle that quite yet.
I have the Vikings.
I also have the Vikings. Kirk Cousins has been playing sneaky good football, and it's kind of gone unnoticed. I think he has a big game today.
By the way, the player I picked in the Colts-Dolphins game was Myles Gaskin to score a touchdown.
Ooh. I just traded him to Caleb for DJ Moore. I got DJ Moore.
We'll see how it goes.
30 points he put up in fantasy last week. I had to get him on all my rosters.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Okay. Oh, we're moving on to another real great barn burner here. Washington football team, Atlanta Falcons in ATL.
Do we have to pick this one?
I think we have to.
Yeah. These are just two very bad football teams right now. I mean, I'm going to go with Washington just because that defense that they have has to step up eventually.
Come on. You gotta give Heineke a little bit of credit here. He played a bad New York Giants team, but they got a win there, and it looked pretty good. And Terry McLaurin looks great, and he looks like he's got some chemistry, so I'm going with Washington.
I'm going with Washington. I think Heineke goes out there and throws
balls.
I think he goes crazy, man. I think it's a week that he puts up over 350 yards and 2 to 3 touchdowns.
Dang.
I'm going to take the Falcons in this one. I think Kyle Pitts finally proves everyone wrong about why he shouldn't have been the number 4 pick. I think
he should have been a receiver, not a tight end, though.
Yeah, I think Pitts, though, today, I think he scores multiple times.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to just trust the guy here. I'm going to go with Washington. Their defense was going to be touted. Everyone thought they were going to be the number 1 defense this year. Last time I checked, I think they're at 28th or 29th in the league. They have not been utter great. Disappointment. So this is the perfect game to get back on track, in my opinion. So, you are in a really terrible NFC East. Cowboys, you never know. But if you want any chance to win in the division, you got to turn your season around right here.
Real quick, Ricky Newell reaches out and says, thinks Washington needs to make Fitzmagic their starter. He's currently out with a significant hip injury. So once he returns, I think it's like week 6 or 7, he'll be back in there as starter.
Yeah, hip, subplants, whatever.
Subluxation or something like that.
Yep. Ugh, sounds nasty.
Basically, dislocation.
Yep.
Now, I think this game might have the biggest blowout potential just because of the circumstances. Houston Texans, Buffalo Bills in Buffalo.
I'm going to have to take Buffalo.
Going Buffalo all the way on this one, man.
Yeah. Making another.
I'm I'm going to go Texans in this one.
Oh, he's going against the grain. All right, I'm gonna go.
It's a very
Buffalo.
bold choice there, Carson.
Very
Yeah.
I need Buffalo to have a great game today because I'm starting them over Tampa Bay in my fantasy leagues. So,
Defense?
Come on, Buffalo. Bring home another win for me.
You took Buffalo's defense over Tampa Bay going on to play New England?
I mean, Mac Jones, Davis Mills. Mac Jones at least is a first
Both kind of the same right now because Mac Jones doesn't have great receivers to throw to.
Yeah.
I mean,
At least you got
Davis
Brandon
Mills
Cooks in
doesn't got
Houston.
much out there, though.
You got Brandon Cooks.
But
Yeah.
I give you that. But they got Tre'Davious White. You going to shadow Brandon Cooks all
whatever.
day.
He'll still get his points.
He'll probably will. Let's see. Ricky Newell's going to take the Texans as well. All right, where are we at? Okay, Giants and Saints in New Orleans.
I'm going to take New Orleans in this one.
Okay.
I'm taking the Giants. They have a pretty solid defensive front, and I think they shut down Alvin Kamara.
Don't say that, Scott.
I'm going to say it. Alvin Kamara's not on my fantasy team.
He's on my fantasy team, and I think we're playing today.
We are.
And this is why I hate fantasy football.
We come.
Oh,
Well, no, I got to play Scott, and I need Alvin Kamara to have a good game.
You know, after a week 2 disappointment from New Orleans, they bounced back in week 3, put up another win, and I was pretty high on what they were going on, so I'm going to go with New Orleans on this one. So
I'm going to go with the Giants, and I think this is going to be the beginning of the end of the Jameis Winston experience in New Orleans.
Ooh, dang, he goes against the grain. He has hot takes. Dang, Carson.
Yeah, I'm going to be going with the Giants as well. I feel like Jameis is Jameis. He's going to be hot and cold. He's going to have one good game, one bad game. Pretty much, what was it? 40 for 40 was his thing.
Over or under 1.5 interceptions for Jameis Winston today, guys.
Over.
Under.
I'm going over.
I'll go
David,
under.
you're going under?
Yeah.
I'll go under.
Carson, too?
Yeah, over. I think Jameis might end up throwing like 3 or 4 today.
It's going to be interesting.
Well, damn it. Why aren't we playing the Saints then? Okay. Anyways, all right. Moving.
You can't have 4 gimme games in a row there, Matt.
Hey, maybe. We'll see. A game we're keeping an eye on today, Philly, Kansas City, in Philadelphia. Does Philly stand a chance?
No.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, but we'll see. And is
Philly's
even going to go out on the flyer and take Philadelphia to win this game?
Not going to take Philadelphia, but I think Miles Sanders has a career game.
Hey,
I think Miles Sanders will have a great game, but I think KC wins this one hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think KC needs to come out and make a statement. Everybody's starting to throw dirt into the grave, and bury him, but I don't think KC's dead yet.
Well, and if you look at what Philadelphia did against Dallas and their defense, my gosh, that defense there's holes all over the place. Dallas just tore them up. I was hopeful.
The NFC East is still trash, though. Come on.
But I was just hoping, literally in an NFC East battle, I was hoping for a good game, maybe a Philly win out of that. And it didn't look anything like a good game.
It was terrible.
A possibility of a Philly win, you know what I mean? If they show up that same way, there ain't no chance. So
nope.
All right. We're gonna go on to probably my second favorite matchup of this week. Carolina Panthers, Dallas Cowboys in Dallas.
Dallas.
I'm going with Dallas. Another undefeated team goes down.
yeah, as much as I love Carolina and what they're doing, man, Dallas looked just impressive last week. So Dallas.
That offense is starting to gel.
And the defense.
Yeah.
Defense is where they always struggled. Could they put it together? And I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carson.
Yeah, I'm going Dallas too.
Dang, I'm going against the grain. I'm going with Carolina. I feel like they have a better defense. Their defense is highly underrated. And I think Sam Darnold goes out and has probably the best day of his career today.
Matt is definitely on that Sam Darnold train.
I was on the Sam Darnold train. I told you he was in a dumpster fire in New York. He's come out and played
I say that's why he's the lock flogger. He wanted Sam Darnold here the entire time.
Hey,
Yep.
maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe. But I will say I do not think it's going to be DJ Moore who has a killer game today. I think it's going to be the oft not targeted Robbie Anderson, who I'm going to be sitting.
Well,
on my
Robbie
bench
Anderson
today.
finally goes off.
Yeah, and I'm going to be sitting him on my bench. So let's go, Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, you're gonna sit
But,
Robbie Anderson on your bench, and he's gonna go off for 40 points, and I'm just gonna laugh at you.
Yeah, if he goes for 40 points and I put DJ Moore over Robbie Anderson, I might as well just call it quits right now. But I just think that the defense for Carolina is going to provide a huge struggle for Dak. They got a beat up offensive line, and we talk about how nasty Denver's pass rush is. Carolina is right there with us.
Yeah.
Kind of another really good NFC West matchup, Seahawks 49ers today in San Francisco. Where are you going, Dave?
I'm going to go with the 49ers.
I'm gonna have to go Seahawks on this one. I like the new look Jimmy Garoppolo and everything, and he looks healthy and he looks hungry. But I think Seattle wants this one more.
Seattle needs it more.
They do need it more.
And that's where I think where I'm at too. Seattle, they need it more. They're looking like they're finally starting to come around and play some good ball. I just think that 49ers stumble today and Seahawks come out with a win.
Yeah, I'm going Seahawks still.
I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to go 49ers, and I think we see Russell Wilson sacked 3 times, and he's got hit north of 5. I think that pass rush is going to eat Seattle's offensive lineup. And then we see Russell Wilson throw a huge tirade and say, I want to be traded, and then we'll see what happens. I mean, that was his complaint this offseason.
Welcome to Washington, Cook.
Right. All right. So sliding right over to another NFC West battle, Cardinals and Rams.
Whew. Boy, this Rams defense is, I don't know. Can they contain Kyler Murray and that group of people? I'm going to go against Grant. I'm going to say no. I'm going to take Arizona in this one.
Oh, and it's in LA. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
This is such a hard pick right here. Both teams have just been performing phenomenally. Cooper Kupp is off to a fantastic start with the Rams and everything. I like what Matt Stafford brings to the Rams, and I got to go with Rams.
Boy, I think we're just going to agree on everything, Scott, because you watch Matt Stafford in that Sean McVay offense, and it is just operating much clean. It's the tightest offense I've seen out there to date so far this year. I know that Kyler Murray's great. I know he's dynamic, but I can't go past what Stafford and the offense can do. I think if they need to, they can just march down and put points down on the board. So,
yeah, Stafford is definitely a different quarterback than he was in Detroit.
For sure.
Yep.
He's got something on the offensive line.
It's amazing what a little sunshine can do.
Yeah.
All right, Carson, where are you going?
Going Rams. I think it will be a really good game. I think it could end up being the game of the week.
Yeah.
Just the way the Rams offense is, like these guys are saying, it's looking like it can't be stopped right now. And if it is to be stopped, I don't think it's by the Cardinals defense.
Yeah, this is the game I'm really looking forward to this afternoon. Unfortunately, the Broncos and this game are playing at the same time. So they're going to be on both big screens.
Yeah, this should have been the 6:20 game, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I don't think the Tom Brady reunion should have been highlighted as much or prioritized as much as it is. But
Tom Brady marched into Goodell's office and said, "I want this game. Evening. That's it. No moving it whatsoever."
That's the love fest between
Goodell and Brady.
Tom Brady and Goodell.
Yeah.
Back to Rams Cardinals. I've been riding defense all with all these picks so far. I'm going to stick to it. You want to stop Kyler Murray? There's a man named Aaron Donald who's good at wrecking havoc. I think he's
he good? Is that guy any good?
Okay.
He's all right.
I think he's all right. He's on the brink of that. Very good.
Well, you guys almost got me talked into changing my pick. I think I'm going to have to.
We might all look like fools come the end of the day.
Yeah, Dave's going to be sipping his coffee this afternoon and be like, I told you guys.
I'm going to just stick with it. I mean,
damn it, we should. We have also We have Bruce Arians' doppelganger and David Slade over here, Carson. So it's an inside joke. We're gonna at the end of the day. Damn it, we should listen to Bruce. But okay, next game: Steelers Packers at Lambeau. I feel this is gonna be as close to a sweep as possible. I know you're. I know what you want to say, Dave, but I know you're gonna say the opposite.
I'm going to have to go with Packers. I mean, for my own sanity, being that my wife's a Steelers fan, I wish the Steelers would win. But I not with Ben back there.
Yeah.
I mean, I just can't see the Steelers winning with Ben, so I'm going to go Green Bay.
It's go Pack go for me. Big Ben has not looked the same. Had a lot of help in the first 11 games last season. That week 12, rest of the NFL figured something out, and Big Ben has not been the Big Ben that we all grew up with. So let's go Pack go.
And that was my wife who put the Steelers in there.
I thought so.
That's awesome. I wish I could support her, Dave, but I'm going to have to go with the Packers as well, obviously.
I mean, I wish I could, too. Her Notre Dame team took a loss yesterday,
Rough.
Then LSU turns around and loses last night, and now the Steelers are going to get beat down by the Packers today.
That's just
Does Ben get benched? Hey, I got a hot take. Does Ben get benched today?
Yes.
If the Packers get up 3 score, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say if it's a runaway, but I think that's just more just putting your guys in. I don't think he's the only guy that's going to get replaced in that situation. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I mean, should be clear.
I don't know. Ben has looked horrible. I mean, bad.
But now you also have Claypool's out today. Is not going to play.
Yeah, Claypool's out. The big thing with the Steelers is, like you said, David, Ben looks worse than what Peyton Manning did in 2015 with the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Significantly worse.
But
significantly
the Steelers
worse.
Don't have the defense to carry him.
No, they don't.
Like Peyton Manning had.
No.
Yeah.
So Carson, are you going Packers as well?
Packers by far.
Yeah, I'm going Packers as well. I did want to
start.
Oh yeah,
I've got the Packers winning this one, 13+ points.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I think this is a blowout. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I wanted to give you guys an interesting tidbit about Ben Roethlisberger because everyone thought Teddy Bridgewater was going to be Mr. Conservative, who we all know he's leading the NFL in attempts north of 20+ yards. Ben Roethlisberger is leading the NFL in passes attempted under 15 yards by a margin of more than 35 passing attempts. I think
he has nothing left.
He doesn't have
a passer in the NFL right now.
He doesn't have time either. He has to get rid of the ball. He doesn't have time for deep routes to develop.
He's not getting time, and when he does get the deep route, he's underthrowing because there's nothing left in his elbow.
Oh yeah, that arm is shot.
Yeah, so just I thought it'd be an interesting.
And we all said Teddy. We all said Teddy couldn't throw the deep ball.
Hey, I'm pretty sure if we reach out to Steelers Nation and be like, "Hey, everybody pitches in $20 for a GoFundMe," we'll go find the team doctor from the Chargers last year and send them your way.
Wow. There's the Tyrod Taylor diss. All right. Moving on to the spotlight game of tonight. Tampa Bay, New England, in Foxborough. Anyway, the Patriots pull off an upset.
No, absolutely.
Hope they do.
Tom Brady tears his ACL and is out for the season. That's the only way Mac Jones and the Patriots win.
Right. I'm taking Tampa Bay big in this game. Tom Brady is going in there to prove a point.
I agree with you, David. Tom Brady's going into Foxborough to prove a point. There's always been that story. Is it Belichick? Is it Brady? Who's the brain trust behind this whole thing? And I think Brady's going in to finally settle that score for sure. Even though his wife is still going to sit in the press box with Robert Kraft.
And for me, I just wish this was a good game. If it was going to be highlighted and it was going to be Sunday, but I don't see it being anything but just a blowout for Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and had no
even without Gronk playing today. Gronk's out with broken ribs. So
yeah.
Well, I don't. As big of a weapon as I know that Tom Brady loves to have Gronk, it's just a competitive matchup on 22 guys against 22 guys, it's going to make the difference. So,
yeah, I'm taking the Bucks. I have 2 questions for you guys. Does Brady shake Belichick's hand after the game, and does Brady get booed by the New England fans?
Ooh.
I think Brady gets a standing ovation from the crowd at the beginning of the game, and when he breaks the passing record. And I think there's a quick handshake, maybe 5-10 seconds at most.
Yeah, I don't think you see a long embrace at midfield after the game. You know, I'm with Scott there. I think it's a quick handshake just to do it for the sake of doing it. But and then I think these fans, they know what Brady did for them.
yeah.
They're gonna definitely give him the accolades that he deserves.
The guy gave you over 20 years of competitive football.
Yeah.
And was it 5 or 6 championships?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't boo somebody like that.
Right.
Sorry.
If you boo him, then you really should just leave the stadium.
Yeah. If you're alive, if
Right.
the other fans around you haven't killed you already.
Right.
There's only a few
I
stadiums
agree.
where you ever see a guy coming back after he's left and getting booed and it maybe being okay. And I just don't think Gillette Stadium is one of them. So not for Tom Brady. Like you said, I think it's a handshake and a good game coach, and then they turn around and walk. He turns around and walks, and that's about it. So
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a standing O and just a quick handshake. Probably
Carson,
not
you
even
think anything
guys.
different?
Huh?
Does Carson think anything different?
I don't think they shake hands after the game.
You don't
I
think
could
so?
see it. I mean, I could see it.
So
They just walk to midfield, flip each other off, and go
Yeah.
away.
I got a question for everybody. Does Tom Brady have to go over to the bench to tell Mac Jones good game again? Is Mac Jones
he
just
would.
going to pout on the bench again like he did last week?
Right? That was crazy.
Hey, Mac Jones watched a lot of game film of Brady when he was losing games up in Bloxborough, and I was like, all right, that's the ego I got to take on. Then I'm going to do it.
Hey, he's just getting into character to fit into that culture over there.
Okay.
Hey, it's Boston area, man. You gotta put the sour face on every now and then.
I'm also going Bucks in this, but I do have a question. If the Patriots somehow pull off an upset, does Foxborough riot tonight?
No.
Why would you?
Did they riot?
I mean, out of excitement. This
Did
is
they like
their
burn down
Super Bowl.
cars and all that kind of stuff?
No.
I don't
No,
think so.
I-
They're a pretty sophisticated fan group up there,
I mean, they are radical.
I will say this. Boston will riot. It'll happen before the Patriots game. If Boston loses their matchup and Seattle and Toronto in Major League Baseball get into the wild card, and both New York and Boston lose their games.
We'll see. Well, see if they're already coming into the game sour, and then
that's true.
You never know. That might be what.
Who knows?
The time.
Yeah.
You could have about 5,000 fans who go to Boston to watch. Or no, they're in Washington. Boston's in Washington tonight, so that's a long way to travel. But yeah, I'm pretty sure fans sitting in bars already. If Boston loses and gets kicked out of the MLB playoffs, there might be some rioting.
Yeah.
All righty. That leads us to tomorrow's game: Raiders, Chargers, and LA.
It's another one that I think is a great game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Raiders. I don't, just for the sake of it's in Vegas, so I'll go with the Raiders.
I'm actually going to go Chargers. I mean, this is going to be an awesome game. It's going to be back and forth, and definitely one of those games that is going to be entertaining to watch from beginning to end. But I think it's going to be another one of those field goal or overtime type games.
Well, what I'm hoping for here, Scott, is both Denver and the Raiders go into Week 6 5-0, because I want Bronco Raiders Week to mean something like it used to.
Move it to Monday Night Football already. Let's go. Come on.
That's right.
Well, unfortunately, we would not be able to do that because we played the Browns on a short week.
Okay, so Sunday. I'll take Sunday night.
Huh?
Oh, you're talking about moving the
Raiders.
game.
He's talking about
Okay, never mind.
about week 6. We played Cleveland on Thursday
Right,
night.
that's true.
As much as I'd just love to get a tie here, that would be my preference.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to, like you guys said, it's a great game. It's a tight game. It's back and forth. And if you have to pick a winner in these two, San Diego's been faltering and has been faltering when it comes to the end of games for years. And Raiders, as of lately, have been putting up points late in order to win games. So I'll go with the Raiders on this particular one.
Keith owes $1 to the San Diego Chargers, Jar.
Oh, no. That's going to be ingrained forever.
Yeah, it is hard to call them the
See,
Los
that's why I
Angeles
just say
Chargers.
Chargers.
Yes.
Chargers, Raiders.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to go with the Raiders win.
I'm going Raiders.
All right. I'm going Chargers. I think Herbert has a good game, and I think that defense for Oakland or Las Vegas finally gets exposed as not as being below average, because I mean it's not a great defense. They've just been gelling well, but I think Herbert has a huge game.
I think Justin Herbert's already proved to a lot of the analysts that last year was not a fluke, even though he has a new head coach and a new offensive coordinator. Herbert's legit, guys. He's a starter in at least 2 of my fantasy leagues.
Yeah,
he is
all
legit.
of my fantasy leagues.
Did he start off week 1? He started off week 1 though with a little. He didn't have the greatest week. Is that correct?
No, he didn't. They were playing Washington that first week, and Washington's defense actually came out with a little puffed up chest and kind of stood them up a little bit. But they did win a close game.
Yeah, I was. To be honest, I was one of those guys that was thinking that he might have an off year this year, and then when he came out week 1 and they didn't look that great, I'm like, oh man, I'm looking like a genius, and then the last few weeks it happened. So that was about it.
Right.
All right. Well, the time has come.
Who did
Official
you? Oh, you went
predictions.
Chargers, right, Matt?
Huh?
You went Chargers.
Yeah, he went Chargers.
Okay.
All right. Well, the time has come to pick the Ravens Broncos game. We'll start same rotation. We'll give out our score prediction and who we think is going to win.
I'm going to stick with what I said earlier in the week, and I believe that was 27 to 13. I see Melvin Gordon getting a couple touchdowns, like I said. I think Denver's going to be able to, for the most part, contain Lamar, but he will break a big run for a touchdown. But I say Denver 27-13 today.
I've been harping on it the entire show. Defense has to stand up and do their job against Lamar Jackson and his ability to run this RPO system. Keep Mark Andrews from blowing out the top, and keep it close for the most part. So I'm picking the Broncos to win this one, 27-17.
Wow, this is kind of crazy, but I agree with everything that you guys said. 100%. I am picking the Broncos to win. The funny thing is I have 27 points for the Broncos as well. I have 24 for the Ravens. I think it's a nail biter. So,
yeah, I'm going 24-20 Ravens.
All right. I'm going to stick with my Broncos score prediction. So far, it's brought us decent luck. I'm going Denver 31, Baltimore 20.
All right.
And I even benched Lamar for this fantasy game.
Who'd you put in place of Lamar?
Teddy Bridgewater.
I love it.
I have this rule in fantasy football. I will not play somebody who is playing against the Broncos. I am not going to cheer for a player that's playing against my team. This is why I hate fantasy sports.
Yeah.
I just joined this league just because for fun, but I don't like fantasy sports for that sole purpose.
Yeah.
And you're gonna make me have to bench Herbert when we play them. It's gonna be 3 bye weeks now for Herbert.
I would do it. That's how I will not cheer for another player that plays against the Broncos.
I got that spicy chip on the line. If we lose, I can't lose. I got to keep him in there. It's for my health.
Well, you go ahead and go against your Broncos then.
Man, hey, Justin Herbert's too hot to bench for me, so I'll play him regardless.
Yeah.
Might bite me in the ass, but hey.
Yeah.
But we got some good things going on here. I think it's gonna be a great game today. We're just hope. We're rooting against you today, Carson. You're in the minority, unfortunately. But we hope for a good game, and most importantly, we just hope that everybody gets out healthy.
Yep, that's all I hope for. Good game. Everyone comes out healthy, even if the Ravens lose, which obviously I hope we don't. But just a good game. Everyone comes out healthy. That's all I'm asking for today.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's going to be a good one. But all righty, gents, any more questions, any more ideas, any last-minute hot takes before we hop off?
One thing I just point out, just going over the stats really quick. The one stat that blew me out of the water so far for Lamar Jackson, he has 3 interceptions to 3 touchdowns. He has 8 sacks, and he has 4 fumbles so far in the year. So I think the defense could absolutely go off today, just based upon how he's turning the ball over from week to week in multiple ways. He's lost 2 of those fumbles too, so it'll be interesting. It'll be. I think the defense could have a huge day today, especially if he starts coughing over the ball and trying to do it all himself, which he may very well have to do.
Yeah, I've looked at the weather report for Mile High Stadium today. It's bright, it's sunny, high 75 degrees, not much wind going on. I think about 4 miles east to northeast. So it should be a fantastic game. Fantastic weather if you're heading down to the game to enjoy. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of tailgating going on already down at Mile High Stadium. So have fun if you're going out to the game, everybody.
Yeah.
Yes. And here's my obscure stat of the day. When Baltimore plays a competent offense, they're giving up 34.5 points a game.
Wow. Yeah, they have put up quite a few points or lost at quite a few points. Yeah.
So my interesting stat in Lamar Jackson's career, whether it be in college, high school, or the NFL, when he is on the injury report, he has never lost a game.
That's an interesting one.
Well, it's first time for everything.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on, Carson.
Yeah, well, we do like the humor. We like the comedy.
Well, to just side with Carson here, either way, one of those perfect records is going to be going down the drain today. If Denver loses, we lose our O. If Lamar Jackson and the Ravens lose, that goes out the window, and we're just glad to give them the first L.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, it's been great. It's been fun. Lots of conversation. We're gonna do post game later tonight, about 6:00 our time, 8:00 your time, Carson. If you feel like hopping on, whether it's a win or loss, either way, let me know.
All right.
And, hopefully, we're cheering a Broncos win, and I mean you're Spence, unfortunately, but we got to bleed orange and blue. It's what we do out here in the Mile High, baby.
Yeah.
And I think Pat Shurmur is going to be very aggressive today because of that beat-up secondary.
A compliment.
Hey, we put together a pretty good offense so far this year, man. I agree. If Dave, if we can take those shots, today's one of those days we can do it. So
it is.
I was going to say, I think that might be the first compliment David Slade has ever offered Pat Shurmur in his tenure.
It probably is.
I think
it might be the last one too.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope not for our sake, for the orange and blue. Let's hope not. But anyways, gents, like I said, it's been real. It's been fun, and I can't wait for game day. It's already game day.
All right, everybody, enjoy the games, and see you tonight.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Go Broncos.
All right, go Broncos.
Talking to the 4 of you for 4-0.
There we go. All right. See you later, guys.